Hi there, this is Debbie Skyrme, and I'm Celebrant Spain because I am a celebrant in Spain. And I'm very excited today because I'm joined by Kerrie, who's actually in Dubai in United Arab Emirates. So, Kerrie, introduce yourself and tell us everything about you.
I don't think you have long enough for everything about me. I've had a crazy life. But anyway, thank you. My name's Kerrie Low and I operate the Birds and the Bees Celebrant services here in Dubai. Um, well, actually, across the UAE, but I'm based in Dubai. So I do also cover Abu Dhabi, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah, and all the other Emirates.
Oh, brilliant. Now, tell me a little bit about the name of your company, about the Birds and the Bees. Where did that inspiration come from?
Yeah, that actually came from a conversation in a pub in Sedbergh, believe it or not, quite a few years ago. I wanted to become a celebrant a long time ago, but more a funeral celebrant. I hadn't really considered weddings, but living in Dubai, being a funeral celebrant is almost nil. So I didn't focus on that whatsoever and just focused on the weddings. And I was trying to think up a name, and for me, I really miss the nature aspect out in Dubai, or I thought I did when I first got here. But actually, there's a lot of nature to be found here in the UAE. People don't think we have any, but we do. And there are actually a lot of bees here and lots of different kinds of birds. Um, I'm a bit of a bee fanatic myself.
Oh, me too. Yeah, without bees, we have nothing. The world would
Exactly.
die.
Exactly. So when you think of the cycle of the food chain and just the cycle of life, I didn't want to be called the circle of life or bring the circle into it. And I just wanted a way to bring some natural elements into my brand name. And I just thought, well, the birds and the bees, that cycle of life is like the cycle of our life. We'll be celebrating baby naming as well. That's another role that I do here. So from birth, marriage, death, and many other rites of passage in between that we won't go into right now, I just thought that covers all of it.
Yeah.
However, I have to say, when people are looking for a celebrant, they're not looking for a bird or a bee. So perhaps I should have been trained in marketing before I launched, because no one's looking for a bird or a bee, are they?
No, but it's
So
like,
now I've got 5 Instagram accounts.
yeah, no, it's like, I don't know, Adidas, for example, or Adidas, however you pronounce it. That doesn't really mean anything. So I think once you've got a memorable name, it'll stick. And for me, it's the visual. I love the visual elements of the name of your company. So going back to the marriage bit that you just touched on, here in Spain, every single wedding here is symbolic. No matter whether you get married in a church, getting married, or a civil ceremony, whatever, you can't actually contract your legal marriage in the church. Everybody has to go back to the mayor or the designated official to register and contract their legal marriage. So all of my wedding ceremonies are symbolic, absolutely all of them. What about you? How does it work for you in Dubai?
Exactly the same, Debbie. Obviously, I'm not registered to register any marriages here in the UAE either. And we have a huge melting pot of nationalities. So you have a lot of expats here. So they've lived here for quite a while, met each other here. This is their home, and they're getting married here. And their guests are coming from all over the world to celebrate with them. And those people tend to go off to places like the Seychelles or Cyprus, or they might have a very small church wedding here in Dubai and then have their wedding day, which is the celebration of marriage, with a celebrant on a beach or in the mountains or whatever.
Yeah.
I also get quite a lot of mixed culture. So if one person is Muslim and the other is a Brit, for example, so depending on how they are going to agree on their marriage contract, they may go through a nikah or another registration of their marriage, and then they'll have a love ceremony. So it's still their wedding day, and that's what people, I think, get confused about when they are asking a celebrant, well, why can't you legally marry us? Because they don't differentiate the word marriage to wedding.
Oh, absolutely. They're two completely different things. I used to be a registrar and I registered the marriage, and it's a legal contract. It's 40 words plus your names, very unromantic. And then it's witnessed in front of two people and signed in a register. And around that, you can have ceremony. It could be a registration ceremony, it could be a religious ceremony, it could be an independent ceremony, a humanist ceremony. So the wedding and the marriage are 100% two different things. It really is their real wedding day when they have a ceremony with us. Absolutely. Yeah.
And quite often we have a big Indian population here as well. So sometimes they have 3 or 4 days of various ceremonies. I don't get many of those because their ceremonies are very specific to them, but I have had one with the Indian groom. So we had the love ceremony for them and they took part in their other ceremonies separately. And that was amazing. Oh, you know, the groom comes in with the and everyone's dancing with the groom before the ceremony. So it's like the reverse of what we do. And all the parents come and dance with him and then the bride arrives. So yeah, that was amazing.
I envy you that, and all the colours as well. Oh, fantastic.
Oh, believe me, I do look at the UK celebrants sometimes and envy their green forests or their woodlands or, you know, standing by a brook with an umbrella. I do kind of miss that as well.
Well, I'm quite lucky here because in Spain we do have a winter and a summer. However, we have about 320 days of sunshine. So you can have a winter wedding here, but still have a lovely sunny day. But we do have a variety. We have the mountains, and because I'm an hour from the longest ski season in Europe, we can have snow weddings, beach weddings on the same day. We have a great variety. But I'm just looking at that picture behind you. Is that a wedding that you officiated, Kerrie? And where is that?
Yes, so that is me in my boots, and that is actually not a wedding. That is a 10-year vow renewal.
Oh.
Long story short, but yeah, lovely couple, lived here for ages, and they wanted to just really celebrate with a really intimate gathering of people. And there were various other factors in the couple's lives that they wanted to acknowledge. So we just, I worked with a specific planner, a lady who runs Rock Your Wedding. She has a very rustic approach and I really resonate with that. So her and I just took this couple out there and had the celebration with all their guests in the middle of the Hatter Mountains. So it was fantastic, very different.
What's your favourite kind of location? Do you like the beach weddings, or do you prefer some opulent hotel somewhere that's got lots of lovely air conditioning? What do you like?
That's a really tough question. I can't actually say that I prefer one over the other at the moment, because everything is a new experience. Everything. So because every couple are different, every ceremony is slightly different. Even when you're doing the same symbolic element, it's still different, because they've chosen different colours for different reasons, or just the sequence, the choreography might be different for various reasons. So I can't say I prefer. I just love everything that I do.
Yeah. Talking about the
everywhere.
Element,
we do get in some fancy hotels.
Oh, I bet you do.
Yeah.
I've seen some fantastic ones round by you. Tell me a little bit about the symbolic elements. For example, here in Spain, we have something called arras. Arras are coins, and the bride and the groom will exchange coins, and each coin can have a particular meaning. So is there anything that you like to bring into your ceremonies, or things that you tend to get asked for more regularly than others?
I don't get asked for it. I find that I need to educate people about what a symbolic element might be. Quite a lot of my clients are clients that have either come from the UK or other European countries. So in their minds, they're still fixed in that traditional, you know, the bride arrives, she meets the groom, exchange of rings, read the vows, blah, 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 kiss, sign a certificate and go. So they haven't really thought about it, and they get quite excited when you tell them you can involve your children or your pets. We've had dogs as ring bearers and people arriving on horses and stuff. But for us here, specifically on a beach, the sand blending for me is really nice, especially when there are small hands involved. If there's 1 or 2 children, we do a separate vessel for each child, so they each have one to keep from that day. And we've literally scooped sand up from the feet where they're standing to have their ceremony, which is lovely.
Oh.
Or we could be out in the actual desert, surrounded by dunes and camels, and that's it. So again, the sand is very appropriate. And we use natural sand, and we use coloured sands as well, depending on what they like. But as you know, people might want something that goes with their living room, or they might actually have a symbolic affinity to a colour. Who knows? And they don't often.
It could be the chakra colours or whatever. Yeah. My top tip for anybody that's thinking of having a sand ceremony, actually on the beach, don't go barefoot. Because whether you're in Dubai, whether you're in Spain, in a Mediterranean country, it is blooming hot. Yeah, you'll burn your feet. So at least wear flip-flops.
Yeah, lizards running across the sand here. So our wedding season normally starts again in October, and runs right through till the end of April, beginning of May. But then it's just extremely hot in between times. So the love ceremony I did last week, wow, we were just soaking, all of us, outside in 44 degrees. I don't recommend that to anyone.
No. Are you able to give me any details about that? Tell me a little bit about that one.
So that was a couple who basically have been thrust into unforeseen circumstances due to COVID. They both worked for one company, the same company here, and the bride lost her job. So that meant she had to be repatriated back home because they didn't have time to get legally married here in Dubai. And they had their actual wedding day planned in the country of the bride. But of course, everything was cancelled, everything. So this gentleman contacted me in desperation. Can you legally marry me? And I said, no, I can't. And secondly, we're not permitted to host any weddings at the moment or events because of government guidelines. And he just said, is there a way we can get a ring on this girl's finger before she gets on her flight? So, you know, I have a young son. This was a young guy. And I just thought, I can't turn this chap away. It's just the two of them and a photographer. So we had a ceremony. And yeah, that's as far as he's concerned. They've exchanged their rings until they can see each other again.
Oh,
that was rather
lovely.
beautiful.
Yeah, so they've had a symbolic elopement.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
Stay here. He can't go. So they're totally separated by COVID, but united in love until they can find a way to get legally married again.
Oh, love finds a way, Kerrie. Love finds a way.
It always does.
Well, I'm
Eventually.
sure people would love to get in contact with you. So what's your website address and how can we find you on social media as well?
Okay, so as you know, I'm registered with the Celebrant directory as well. So I've had quite a few inquiries through that directory, which I think is a good global network, you know, because people are coming from all over, aren't they? And my website is birdsandbeescelebrant.com. So you can find me on there, and I'm on Instagram as well, which is birdsandbees_celebrant_Dubai. So I'm there.
Okay, and is that the same for Facebook and Instagram?
Yes, yeah, pretty much everywhere as Birds and Bees.
Okay, that's brilliant. Okay, well, just a quick reminder that I'm Debbie Skyrme and I'm celebrantspain.es for España, and I'm at Celebrant Spain on all social media platforms. So, Kerrie, thank you so much for taking the time to chat.
Whereabouts in Spain are you, Debbie?
I'm down in southern Spain, so I'm an hour from
I just wanted to ask
Malaga, an hour from Granada.
Okay. Nice, easy airport access.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is. It's a great location. I'm just where the Costa del Sol meets the Costa Tropical. So it's a very Spanish area where I am, but I travel all the way across southern Spain. A bit like you, I travel nationally.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll be coming home to the UK as well for some weddings next year. So if anybody wants me in the UK, I'll be working from there in the summers.
Oh, great.
It's too hot here.
Okay, that's really good to know, Kerrie. Well, again, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me, and no doubt we'll hook up again soon. So
Yeah,
thanks
thank
very
you.
much, and I say bye-bye for now.